Today we are presenting about Russian scandal involving Petrobras in Brazil. Okay, for our level of content, first introduction, second case background, three key issue, fourth analysis, and then application of causal and critical thinking, and lastly conclusion. Next.
And now I will talk about introduction to the Petrobras corporation scandal is one of Brazil's most serious cases of corporation involving hierarchy, officials, business elites, and the state-owned oil company Petrobras. The scandal revealed how deeply political and corporate interests were intervened, allowing corporation to flourish over a decade. This case imposed major flaws in Brazil's governance, law enforcement, and particularly accountability. By examining its laws, effective and government response, this case helps us understand how cooperation imagines a nation's institutions, economic and public track will also serving as a lesson for other countries to strengthen anti-cooperation reforms in an increasingly globalist world.
Okay, now it's about the case background. Okay, this case, the Petrobras corruption scandal, widely known as Operation Awas, which started in 2014, and the Petrobras AZAM took bribes from major firms like Ordovance and State Difference, and the contracts inflated extra funds funded to politicians and political parties, and lead to arrest of high-level figures, even investigation of former presidents. So Petrobras lost billions, Brazil's economy and reputation were in hard, and case reveals corruption spreading to other Latin American and African nations.
Now let's move to the key issue and conclusion. First, this was a clear case of systemic corruption. For over a decade, Petrobras executive and major construction firm concluded to reach contract and divert billions of dollars. Second, with the governance failure, the public had no way to monitor what was happening, and the company's board lacked real oversight power. Corruption threw in this lack of accountability. Third, there was a strong policy for corporate measures. Many officials moved between government roles and Petrobras. Fourth, weak internal controls made things worse. There were no proper audits, no separation of duties, giving corrupt actors room to operate legally. Fifth, economic pressures played a role. Some justified corruption as a way to sustain luxury lifestyles or cope with job-related stress, showing a deep cyclical problem. Finally, the economic and social impact was huge. Petrobras lost over 7 billion in 2014. Brazil's GDP fell by almost 4% in 2015, and public trust collapsed, struggling nationwide protests. Next.
This is the analysis of key factors based on the key issue we identified. So the first one is lack of governance, allow unchecked discretion. This means that in Brazil there's a lack of governance. There's an unreliable system for preventing corruption to happen in state enterprises and companies. Secondly, the close ties between politicians and Petrobras executives is institutionalize corruption. It means the close ties encourage corruption to happen between companies. And then the third one is economic incentives. Great pressure rule illegal activity. This has to do with personal gains, pressure, for example, financial pressures, debt, and so on. And the last one is oversight bodies were too weak or politically influenced to stop it. That's it.
Let me explain the application of theorems. First of all, the corruption system. Politicians and oil balls swept the walls. Contractors lied about contrast, paid bad rates, and got protection. The whole system was broken, not just some people. The second, the country is controlled. Big companies paid off the government to get a huge contract. The third, the problem, not checking. People owned the Petrobras but couldn't see the detail. No one checking their power. The fourth, social disaster. Corruption made oil price drop this rate. Money for hospital or school was stolen. The rich poor gap grew, and angry people chose a populist leader, but democracy served. Thank you.
I will be explain some key insight and reflection drawn from the right schedule. First, when the line between the state and business become blurred, it opens the door for corruption. In this case, politicians were really involved in influencing contract and business decisions within a state-owned company. To show how dangerous it can be when political and economic power are not clear, separate. Second, accountability alone is not enough. While mission thoughts involved is important, then even more critical is systemic reform. Third, there is a strong need for independent and empower regulatory bodies. If anti-corruption agency, the judiciary or auditing office are influenced by political interest, investigation can be blocked or manipulated. Fourth, unchecked corruption leads to public disrupt, division and populism. When people lose faith in institutions, they become polarized and more vulnerable to populist leaders who often after simplicity solution but may not address the root of the problem. Lastly, other countries can can and should learn from Brazil mistake. This scandal serves as a warning and a lesson by promoting transparency, protecting whistleblower, and strengthening legal framework. We can reduce the risk of similar incident occurring as well.
So in the conclusions, the Petrobras scandal was more than just a corporation network's reflected people secrecy, risk practice, and extraction systems. The distribution loss of public funds in economic democracy and practical fund related the danger of unchecked powers. So moving from risk and other national must practice do this independent regulatory systems. So this is to remind the other countries to the practice such as large secret corporations from practice. That's all for us.